At 2,285 metres above sea level, the thin air of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez poses a unique challenge, not just to a driver's skill, but to the efficiency of their engines as well. 17 corners make up a lap of this 2.6-mile circuit, and you can expect incredible speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and overtaking too into the hard braking zones of turns 1 and turn 4. So as we look ahead to what I hope will be a very entertaining race, I have to ask Anthony Davidson what you expect to see in terms of strategy today. I mean, do you expect a lot of tyre management? A lot of fuel management?
Well, don't we always? I don't expect these are going to be any more important than usual, if I'm honest. What I do expect, however, are a lot of drivers getting into the pits early for some kind of undercut on fresh rubber. If you can pit before the person in front, have a good stop and drive a blistering outlap, there may be 1 or 2 seconds to be gained. If anyone gets stuck behind another car, for example, that will be the go-to strategy, surely.
Today, let's try to get 5th or better, okay?
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Nico Rosberg is on pole position today after coming out on top of a difficult qualifying. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Ricciardo, Kimi Raikkonen, and Massa, Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, and Valtteri Bottas, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Esteban Gutierrez, and Button, Sainz, Kvyat, Rio Haryanto, and Pascal Wehrlein, Palmer, and Magnussen, Marcus Ericsson, and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Map is good, but we need to learn the gears, so go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please. Keep an eye on the lights. The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. Safety car deployed. The safety car has been deployed. Watch your delta. Okay, we can take you this lap. Confirmed. Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop. We're seeing minor damage to the front wing. Be easy on the car till we get it repaired. We don't want to risk making this worse. We're happy with the current tyre condition. They should last a while yet, so don't worry about them. Tyre deg is good. Tyre deg is good. The brakes are too cold. You need to get some heat into them. Brake hard going into the next couple of corners. Drop your speed. Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately. That looked bad. Are you alright? Let me know you're alright. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. The stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online. Has minor front wing damage. Front wing damage. Kimi is pitting now. Kimi is in the pits. The gap to the car ahead is 1.5 seconds. seconds. Is out in front. First place is 4.0 seconds. seconds is the race leader. Some information on Verline. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car. Okay, distance to teammate, 7.2 seconds. Is 3.8 seconds. We have 5 laps of fuel remaining. This is your final lap of the race. The gap to the car behind is 1.0 seconds. laps of fuel remaining. Can't complain about that one. That was an excellent drive.
Brilliant stuff from Force India today. What a superb victory. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
I can see them on their way out to the podium now. Force India have really come a long, long way in this sport. And what a special race this was to see them earn that top spot. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Difficult call, Crofty, but I'd like to say Sergio Perez. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he's
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Let's give it to Sergio Perez. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.